AskReddit by H3LLSFL0 Where's men? What is something that immediately kills your interest in a woman? Social media obsession. If everything you do needs to be documented, pass. 10x worse if they decide you need to be in all of their stories on the gram. Girl I dated recently was planning it all out. First a soft launch, where I would appear in a few photos. Then an introduction photo of the two of us hugging or holding hands or something. Then, of course, she would make it official with a meet the new boyfriend post. All that work and planning over how to tell a world of disinterested strangers that she was dating somebody. That coupled with the hour of TikTok in the mornings turned my image of her from hell yes to hell no real quick. Looking down on people entitlement. I accidentally punch-smacked a quiet shy girl at work and felt terrible. I was gesturing a bit too violently as they were walking by. It was dumb on my part but a complete accident. I was telling a cute girl I had been talking to about it, just friends, but I definitely considered her attractive. She said something about how it wasn't that bad because quiet girl was weird. I said something along the lines of that makes it so much worse. Anyways, I lost all attraction in that moment and used my shift meal to buy quiet girl a cookie while apologizing profusely. Being a good person is super attractive and the opposite is the opposite. A shitty personality. My wife has a friend who by anyone's definition is very attractive. To me, she's hideous. She should be on one of those reality housewives shows. Very catty, talks behind your back, very transactional, holds your friendship for random, etc. Roald Dahl put it best in the twits. Even if you've got a big nose or wonky eyes but are kind and happy, you can never be ugly, but even the prettiest face will turn sour if you're ugly inside, or words to that effect. Deleted. Bingo. I can deal with a lot of other BS but I'm a firm believer no one is truly busy, it's what they prioritize. If she is yelling or is impolite to others and myself. But I care equally how polite she is on others too, so if she is nice to me but acts terrible to others it's over. Honestly, someone who's nice to you but mean to others is hell to deal with compared to someone who's rude to you and everyone else. If they are rude to all, it's easier to separate yourself from them. If they are nice to you it's harder because they'll maybe even comply with you for a bit if you tell them to knock it off, eventually returning to old habits and the cycle repeats. They themselves will likely try to justify themselves to you, making it harder and harder to leave them alone. Entitlement. Number 1 for me, nothing more annoying. Being horrible to her kids, or anyone for that matter. Being stood up by her. Last week I had a first date with this lady I had been talking to over a dating app. We hit it off and agreed to a time and place to meet. I got there on time, waited for 30 minutes and texted her to ask if everything was okay. She responded that she had overslept. I told her we could leave it for some other time, then, and she tried to gaslight me as if it was my fault the date didn't happen because I didn't want to meet. I'm too old for these games. She didn't want to try again and I was totally okay with it. Probably not the first time she's done this. Her losing interest. The most important aspect I want in someone I'm into is mutual interest. Stop showing it and you stop meeting my criteria. This is a big one that I've developed over the course of my life. I can usually find someone attractive, merely because they find me attractive and show interest. I find it to be it's because I just want to be wanted, more than anything. They could be the most basic type person with no special features and if they think the world of me, I'm captured. But this is of course only if they are at least a little attractive or at the least acceptable, to begin with. Making me feel desired is my greatest turn on. I don't even want someone beautiful if they have no interest in me. I don't care how hot they are. Instant turn off if they aren't into me or aren't attracted to me. I could not stand to be in a relationship where I'm not greatly desired or wanted. Being employed in an MLM scheme. My family members are not your customers. No, no, no. Those ones don't say they are employed, they say they run their own business. Cruelty. I'm married, fair enough. I'm out. We can't go back to my place, my husband pays for my apartment, literally happened to me last weekend LMAO. No sense of humor. I have to disagree with the sentiment that someone can entirely lack a sense of humor. I had an ex once tell me that she felt this way about me, and for many years, I genuinely believed there was something wrong with me. One day, I started chatting with a new coworker, and after a bit of time becoming comfortable with each other, realized that we did this thing where we'd create ridiculous stories together, bouncing off each other until we were both in tears. I'd never felt so in sync with someone before. Looking at someone as having no sense of humor makes it seem as though there's something wrong with them, when in reality, both your personalities might just be incompatible with each other, and that's nobody's fault. Hell, if they didn't know any better, they'd probably think that you don't have a sense of humor either. Body odor. Not my proudest moment, but I once went out of my way to cut short and run after a girl took her shoes off, and the ensuing smell was enough to wake comatose patients. Shallow, but I couldn't deal with it. Was on a first date. She was beautiful. We went for a walk and she outlined to me how her last boyfriend lost his apartment in a kitchen fire that she started, and then inferred it wasn't an accident. WTF. I was like, GTG. Was your date my ex's ex? GF, this literally happened to him. No hobbies or can't be independent and do things themselves. This is hard because you don't figure this out for a while into a relationship, but when they make you bad for enjoying your own hobbies because they don't have them is so draining. Sometimes it's not intentional either, but you wanna go golf, insert any activity, and they don't have anything to do, it automatically makes you feel bad. One of my exes didn't have any hobbies, personal activities or goals, wouldn't make plans for herself, everything relied on me, so I did something without her she would just sit at home. She didn't intentionally make me feel bad, but I always did. It drained me so much. Same. I'm not asking to find a girl who has all my hobbies, but please have a personality of some kind. Books, movies, art, anything. Blank slates are boring. Infatuation with social media, especially TikTok and Snapchat. After lengthy talk with multiple women, I've determined they see video games the way we see social media. As a hobby, it's whatever. As something you spend scores of hours per week using, it's very unattractive. A superior attitude and entitlement can make a really good-looking woman really unattractive, real quick. Met an very attractive woman a couple of years ago. Looked fantastic. It was all gone within the first minutes, talking about how perfect she was and the whole world was just jealous about it. She's single 4 years. This girl's dog was happy to see her and the dog started licking the inside of her mouth for like 10 seconds and she just let it happen. I wanted to vomit. Instant turn off. I understand if they lick your face, but just letting your dog tongue the inside of your mouth on purpose. Disgusting. Oh god. If she's a complete dick to children. I understand not liking rowdy kids and whatnot, but a visceral cruelty to them is a no-go. If she's a cannibal. Ooh, look at Mr. High Standards over here. Unwilling to be flexible, everything revolves around them and there's no simple answer ever. OMG, yes, like, can we just find an alternative solution instead of fixating on mistakes that won't resolve anything? And it's so emotional energy consuming to argue all the time. It's like pushing a boulder up a hill, I swear. No reciprocal interest. I understand what you're saying and I see this and swerve a lot, but wow, this is such a low bar. Of course you want someone who's interested in you. Bad manners. Smoking. I had an ex who spent her whole day smoking. She would smoke ribs, smoke brisket, etc. She never made any time for us.